Good morning, Aza. And welcome to our podcast.
Thanks for having me.
We've been trying to do this for a while. It's been a minute. So I think everybody knows me. I've been in this podcast for a while. But I think it's good to let's get to know you. So how do you identify who is Aza? Tell us about you.
Okay, my name's Aza Mohammed Abdi. I studied mechanical engineering in my undergraduate. And I specialize in mechanical design engineering and recently moved towards product management. I feel like those are a bit buzzwords. So, product management is where you take like an idea from the beginning up to a fully fledged product that's sold to consumers. So a product manager is in charge of the entire life cycle of a product, basically.
That's what you do?
Yeah.
What do you do outside engineering?
Outside engineering, I have a creative side I'm nurturing. I recently discovered it in adulthood. So I'm into acrylic painting.
A what?
Acrylic painting.
What's that?
Acrylic is a form of paint. So there's watercolors, there's pastel colors, and there's acrylic colors, yeah.
Nice.
So I'm into acrylic painting. Nice. Very novice. It's more of just fun. But yeah.
Things to push time. Okay. What about your school journey? How has it been?
School journey has been interesting. Left Academy Alumni since high school. Then for my undergraduate, I went to a university called Segi University in Malaysia. That's where I did my degree in mechanical engineering. It's been interesting.
How many years in Malaysia?
I think because of COVID, it ended up being almost 5. But it was ideally supposed to be 4. So from February 2017, Nikamaliza around December 2021.
How is it there? They speak English, right?
They do speak English, but then they have something called Manglish. It's like Malaysian mixed with English, so it takes a while to get used to. But the main languages are Malay and Chinese.
Can you speak any of those?
No.
Why not?
I was focused on the formulas and all. I didn't get a chance to actually learn the language.
How was your life in Light Academy?
It was pretty awesome.
How many years in Light?
I joined in year 9. I finished year 13, so those are
4 years.
4 years, yeah.
Yeah, how are they?
They're very formative. I've made lifelong friends that I still have to this day.
Yeah.
My aunt and uncle are Teacher Yasmin and Teacher Yasmin. She's the one our physics teacher and our class teacher throughout year 9 to year 11. She had a very pivotal impact on me, and until this day we have a close connection and all.
Nice.
So yeah.
Which campus, here or the Adams one?
We started at the Adams one with her, then till year 11. After that, when we came here, that's when,
From there you came here?
Yeah. So we joined the A-levels when it was still mostly 844 high school. And
Yes.
So, yeah.
During our time in Light, there were no girls, so we don't...
We were the first batch.
You're the first batch?
Yeah, so we were like around 6 girls in the entire school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't, even now when I tell my friends there are some girls in Light Academy, they can't keep it around their heads. It was, how was it? Do you have some memorable moments that you can single out in your high school journey?
It was really fun, I can say that.
Were you a day scholar?
The day scholar, yeah.
I feel that I feel day scholars don't get really the touch of high school when you're a day scholar. Like, if boarding, if the friends you make are lifelong friends.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying yours are not lifelong, but the connections with the borders and the struggles and the suffering is much more than day scholars. Do you feel the same?
I don't have the boarding experience, but I'd say like a huge amount of time was spent here, like from early morning till evenings, the struggle of studying together. So there's those bonds that
currently are your best friends from high school or from university?
From high school.
From high school?
Yeah.
So I think there's not much difference. I always believe that, okay, my best friends are from high school as well, but I just believe that it's because of the boarding and stuff thing. So I think at the scholars I'm gonna affect. I
think it's those initial bonds, like we're also growing up, so the level of trust and everything was solidified back then. Then it had enough time to grow.
Did you get your engineering niche from high school, or baadaye in life ama ulienda tu with the flow? How did you get to do engineering?
I think it started in high school. I really liked physics, especially because
nice.
of our physics teacher was Yasmin. So the way she explained the concepts and everything, I became better at it. I thought I'd do medicine, but then I was excelling in math and physics and all. Then along the way, I didn't get the grades to get into medicine. That's when my elder brother was like, you're actually good in math and physics, why don't you try engineering? So I'd wanted to do biomedical engineering, trying to still hold on to the medical aspect. But then I ended up, he advised me to first do the main disciplines, which is mechanical. Yes.
Okay.
So I ended up doing the mechanical engineering, planning to segue into biomedical engineering. But then I kind of fell in love with mechanical design engineering. Yeah, so it's been a path that's been going in different directions all sorts.
I don't know how you feel. Is it weird for a girl to be good in physics and engineering, fell in love with engineering?
Not really. If you think about it, it's about just that aptitude, the creativity, being able to think out of the box.
Being able to solve maths problems.
Yeah. Being good at problem solving is the main thing.
Yeah. So your inspirations come mostly from your brother and teacher Yasmin?
Okay. Internally, I've always had that drive to bring the ideas and thoughts I had in my mind to life. It's just how I did that wasn't clear. So there was always that creative side that wasn't nurtured. But my main driving force was wanting to help people, wanting to better people. So I was kind of stuck in between when I decided to go mechanical. I wasn't quite clear on how a mechanical engineering degree will help me help people. But then over time, like through the advice of my brothers, my mentors, then I was able to form that path, realizing that it's just not helping people directly. You can also make products that make their lives better. So
today I want us to focus on STEM, like STEM subjects, especially on the ladies' side. Did you face any challenges specifically because you're a lady in your studies, in your career path?
Specifically being a lady, that happened a bit in university and in while working. So people are biased, people have their prejudices. So you come across certain people who specifically have these biases and ways of thinking that don't align with the current times we're in. Yeah, so there were a few lecturers who made things harder than they were supposed to be. Yeah, so you'd find someone has a problem with you being a woman, then on top of that, a Muslim. So everything is harder than it's supposed to be. And then there was also a lot of cultural bias. So in Malaysia, it was like there was the Chinese, there's the Malay. So you really don't fit in because you're from a whole other country. Yeah, so that made it harder. But then for me, my belief is that you'll find bad people, but the good people are always way more. So if you focus on just the bad people, then your life view will be very constrictive. Because just as there were lecturers who made my time there very hard, but there were also some who really nurtured and mentored me in the right direction.
What was the teaching language there?
English.
English.
But with that accent.
So I remember my university, I studied in Turkey. It was very weird. A class of 40 minutes. I know foreigners are very few. The teacher will come, especially programming, I remember very well. For 40 minutes, the teacher will come and teach in Turkish for 30 minutes. And then now he turns and says, now to my international friends. And he summarized what it was in 30 minutes for 10 minutes. Okay, we didn't suffer because we were women and stuff, but the cultural and the language part was really difficult for us. The English part was very, very... A good thing the books were in English, so we used to...
I remember like one of the lecturers who were really good. There was a time the class ended because of their accents. So they have a lot of prefixes and suffixes. So they'll say a word and attach something to it. So now you're learning engineering concepts and that's going on. So I remember just going with my notebook and I'm like, I don't understand anything. So he just went through removing the excessive words and it all made sense.
Were there moments where you felt like giving up or anything?
A few times, especially during the COVID and the final year project. So life is not one-dimensional.
That's true.
So you have your university life, but then there's other things going on and on. So there was a time where my health was a bit off, so the workload and the stress of
It
going
became
through
too much.
engineering. Then it got even harder during COVID because
Oh.
everything was online.
Yes.
So the lecturers kind of assumed that everyone will have access to books and copying and everything. So the exams were super hard. And I don't know why I insisted on doing things the right way. So it was quite difficult. So I had to repeat a few subjects, but alhamdulillah, I pushed through. You know, when you've put in all those years, it's a bit difficult.
Especially during the last years when you think of quitting, it's very difficult.
Yeah.
Especially, I remember I did physics. In our class, we started with 40 people in the first year.
Yeah.
Our own class, we graduated 7 people. Like really, it was very, and there was a lady among us. There were 2 ladies actually, but we graduated, ended with 1, and she was actually really, really good. I hope she's a physicist right now. I couldn't continue, but
the unfortunate thing was you'd expect like the biases and the prejudice to come from men, but one of the lecturers who actually gave me a hard time was a woman.
Why?
So there's that thing of they had it very hard. Why are you having it easy?
Yeah. Is it difficult being in Kenya, in the same field in Kenya or Malaysia? Where do you think you'll have it easier?
Kenya was a bit easier because I was able to integrate better. Over there, like when we were applying for jobs and all, it's like they're giving preference to their people. But Kenya, the only problem was that like I didn't form those connections and bonds here. Yes. So when you go to work, you find that people graduated university together, they've known each other. So there's like a clique that you're not part of.
I understand. There's a challenge Kenyan engineers face, especially the young ones, being that the engineering board is old people with very old thinking. Especially people tend to not to be very welcoming to technology and the new ideas. Are there specific challenges that you face as a woman specifically on that? Are there some things that are unspoken?
The vibe I got was that it's pointless trying to
resist,
apply for the board or the work for government, because like the thing was I wanted to do research and design, so that means hands-on, like actually creating products and all. But then when I don't know how true this is, but this is just what that was out there. It's more of like when you get a government job, or it's supposed to be they're the ones who are supposed to be doing the actual work and everything, but then it's more of like a desk job. You get your salary, you leave. So it was a bit discouraging in that aspect. But the engineering community outside of the board is actually very alive. They're doing a lot of efforts, they're mentoring each other. So I think there's a gap between the board members and the ones running the organization.
Yeah, that's really true. The gap is really wide there. And I've heard they are not very welcoming to the young people coming. I have a friend who came and they just look at him and immediately they told him that we don't recognize your credentials.
Yeah, even the projects you do and everything, There are people who have like really struggled going through that.
What needs to change?
I think making space for the, should I say younger or the younger generation?
Some representation.
Because there's a very big divide, because the way engineering was back then and now, you'd find that there's not much that's been done to improve even how engineering is taught in some schools.
Should they start from schools? Because there's this idea that the education system that we have is actually not actually aligning boys towards STEM subjects and ladies towards the softer courses. Is it really, is it just a personal thing that drives people? Were you ever felt that your education was pushing you towards softer courses like, I don't know, international relations or something?
I'm not quite familiar with the curriculum right now, but I'd say that, like I did do, I think it's moving to the IGCSE system and everything, that I was exposed to these other subjects like physics and all that. I was able to take them as an option from an earlier, from like year 9 and on. But there is that thing of pushing towards a certain, so even when I wanted to do engineering, there was a lot of pushback, why don't you do nursing? So there are like certain courses that are considered more aligned to feminine and more aligned to masculine. But the truth is, if you have the aptitude and the skills, it's the people in that industry who should make it more welcoming.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I feel like a lot has to be done from high school and primary going up, nurturing those skills.
I think from what I've seen in software engineering, for example, there's a lot of engagement. See, the ladies are very the codings and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lady called Dr. Chow. She's really inspiring a lot of women in engineering and stuff. But I think in your field of mechanical engineering, there are very few, especially
very few.
who are trying to do this.
We were only like 6 in the entire.
Wow.
Then the next batch there were no mechanical.
There were no mechanical engineering.
Yeah. And I think also it's like there are certain skills that need to be nurtured from a very early age.
Yeah.
That over time, like there's this one called spatial visualization.
Yeah.
It's the ability to manipulate 2D and 3D objects in your mind. So like being able to visualize this table in your mind, which is a very important skill for STEM. But then some research shows that boys don't lose that skill, but girls lose it over time. Yeah, so you see that disadvantage can come in.
Yes.
By the time you're in university, there's this unfair advantage they have, but it's because of those skills not being nurtured. So I personally also try to like teach those skills, because I see my nieces, they have the creativity, the problem solving. So I always ask myself, how can I nurture this in them?
Does it have anything to do with stereotyping, for example? Sorry, but in our classes, those ladies who are doing STEM, we used to look them and call them brothers, like they are brothers and stuff. So
is it man's field?
Is it why many ladies don't come into this field? Yeah.
I think so. It starts young, because like I'm looking back, and I grew up with a lot of brothers, so we all had that tinkering nature. You want to open up the TV, you want to open up the radio. So you'll see that the bros it was more acceptable for them. But then as a lady, you're more cautious, so growing out of those, like, especially the cautiousness, it's something I had to like really work on, because when you're problem solving, you have to think fast, you have to try a solution, let it fail, iterate on it. That failing aspect was very hard. That thing of like, it may go wrong, so you always want to control it and everything. So I think it's also how they're raised, so
but funny enough, if you look at success of women in STEM as well, it's really inspiring.
Okay.
For me personally, I was in science, so when you look at women, like the first person ever to win Nobel Prize twice was Maria Curie. In different fields. There's Katherine Johnson, who wrote the codes for airspace exploration the first time. So women have had some really, really good success. Do you ever feel that you're working in that path? Am I in the path of history, for example? Am I just surviving to day-to-day engineering?
Honestly, that's the goal. You want to have impact, you want to inspire, you want to leave a legacy. So you do that through trying your best to develop. But I think also there's an issue of corporate life. You go with all these aspirations, but then they want you to be a certain way, do work a certain way, and all of that. But I feel like it's an obligation to each and every one to have an impact on those around and those who are coming up, at least make it easier in one way or another. So I try to do that through like mentorship, like teaching. There was a time when I was at this makerspace, we were mentoring like the graduates that came in. So it was really inspiring and also impactful, seeing the difference you can make by just slightly guiding someone through the mistakes that you made. So it may not be such a big impact, but the idea is to also have.
And women in STEM, successful women in STEM like you, are normally considered as exceptions. Is that something that motivates, or is it just something that is it something offensive, or is it something that motivates you when you're considered exceptions just because you're in a field of men, considered men actually?
I feel like it's a bit sad, because there are a lot, like throughout A levels and everything, there were a lot of girls who were also interested in engineering. They had the aptitude and everything, because of that not being supported, being diverted to other courses, they didn't actually get to realize that potential. So you'll come across them, and you know, like if they had the same opportunities as you, then that exceptional wouldn't be. There'll be more women in it. There will be more women thriving. So yeah, I feel like it's
more of offensive than motivating.
So,
is there some myth of women in engineering that you really wish could go away? Specifically, something that
were not feminine. Why?
By the way, you don't consider feminine enough, right?
So there's actually like that battle for it, because you're going into a man's field, so you're expected not to have like a feminine dressing up and doing all these other things, or even being organizational, which I don't honestly think is a feminine thing. Everyone should have it. But yeah, like I remember there were some women who were like very, how do I put it, into their masculine energy. So that was a bit of a struggle. Like, I don't think it's either or. You can be you and also embrace the engineering mindset.
How can you be? Especially in mechanical engineering, there's at times has to come, you have to put on the overalls.
Yeah,
you have you need to have some dirty hands and stuff. That's not very feminine.
Yeah, but I don't have to look bad doing it. I can still, to some level, dress up in a way that I feel confident and comfortable in, especially as a Muslim lady where my hijab is not compromised and everything. So like I had to adapt the overalls. Instead of like a one piece, it was like a baggy overcoat with baggy pants, then with my hijab.
Is it more difficult for you now, because now you're a lady, then you're a Muslim, then you're from your ethnicity? Do you ever feel the pressure to represent?
It's there. So the pressure is there. You're expected to be like this image of, you're kind of this it's like
anomalies in the industry.
Exactly, this is what I'm looking for, because you're very niche in a way. Like, it's not many people doing the same thing. But then, like, I remember when I was trying to go into it, I was wondering, okay, how do engineering ladies wear the hijab? How do they go about it? But there was no representation. There's nothing. So despite my, like, I wouldn't like to be in the limelight and everything, but I was agreeing, like with the company I worked for, they wanted like their media and everything. So they'd be like, oh, can you be in these things? It didn't benefit me, but I was always thinking of, okay, there might be a girl somewhere who'll see, or there's an engineering lady who's a Muslim and she's wearing her hijab and all. So just giving that inspiration of like the other people who have done it, you can do it too, and you can do it in a better way. So
the pressure to feel like you're representing is always there. So, and can this thing actually coexist? Do companies or institutions have to put exemptions? For example, you work in a room and everybody's shaking hands, you can't shake men's hand, you have to sit somewhere at the corner. Can they coexist?
Which actually got developed a lot in me. It's having your boundaries and knowing what your boundary is, If shaking hands with a man is a no-go, it's a no-go. It doesn't matter what kind of pressure. So once you set those aspects in, like, Dhuhr time is Dhuhr time, like you have to pray. Whether there's a meeting with the CEO or not, then it's easier for you. But if your boundaries are all wishy-washy, today you're greeting, tomorrow you're not, you're setting that precedence. You're the one who's telling people how you want to be treated, and how you carry yourself really matters.
But you see, now with that, do you feel like it should be part of Nini? Some companies feel that they have to change their culture, they have to change their way of doing.
To adapt.
So they have to change to adapt, not you to adapt.
Not really, because think of it, it's like everyone has their own religious beliefs and everything. It's a right for me to be able to practice my beliefs. So if that means wearing my hijab, if that means not interacting with men in a certain way, but you see, we do interact, we do have conversations, we do work together, but it's setting that boundary of, this is what I'm comfortable with, this is what I'm not comfortable with. So you have to have that grit to be able to be like, you've passed a boundary, I don't appreciate it, kind of thing.
Was it easier on that aspect? Would it have been easier working in Malaysia than working in Kenya, for example?
Definitely Malaysia, because it was an Islamic country, the rules are known, you know how to interact.
Are they friendly to the female in such kind of fields? Are they okay with that?
I had a harder time there. I don't know why.
You had a harder time there than here.
Yeah, because in Kenya, like, people are curious.
Yes.
They don't know, they don't understand, but they're not judging and they're not being harsh. They just want to know. So once they know, they respect your boundaries. They're more welcoming, they're more accommodating.
Good country help.
Yeah, definitely. So I remember like even during team building activities, I wasn't going because of the culture of like drinking then the pork and all of that.
Yeah.
But I had missed a few of them. But once I communicated it to a colleague, this is why I don't go, then things changed. So they accommodated me by actually making grills that were for halal meat or buying halal food. And so I think it's more of having discussions. Like if you go in thinking that, oh, I'm a Muslim, I'll be treated a different way, then you attract more of that than, but if you go in hoping that people will be more understanding and more welcoming.
I want to talk about the culture and where you come from and all that, but let's talk about something slightly different just before we get there. Have you ever had your idea being pulled down and then repeated by a man and then being taken over again?
Yeah,
is that
daily.
Daily.
Mansplaining also. So that's also where
do you give it what?
Mansplaining.
There's actually a term for that.
There's a term for them. It's where you can be explaining something, but a man decides he knows how to explain it better than you. So what that looks like is like, I'd tell you that, this is actually made from a certain type of wood, an MDF. It's a fact, it's well known, but then you'll come and negate it just for the sake of overpowering me in arguments and everything. So it happens a lot, especially when so as a mechanical design engineer, I was just behind my computer or in the workshop, like minimal interaction with people.
Yes.
But when I ventured into product management, now I'm in meetings, I'm talking. So it was quite interesting. Like you're actually saying something and someone is repeating the same thing. And then there's also that thing for when men are assertive, it's acceptable and it's
when you're
but
assertive.
When a woman is assertive, it's like she's
aggressive.
She's emotional.
She's emotional. That's the worst part. She's emotional.
So you can make the same point and across, you can make the same point. But then if you're really supporting it and everything, you find someone saying, oh, you don't get emotional about this, controlling your feelings. Then the guy will do the same thing.
It'll be good for them.
But then you realize like those are the parts where you can try to be more assertive and dominant, but then you're going more out of what you're in alignment with.
Yes.
But then you realize sometimes it's easier to not force issues. Like your point is valid, what you're saying is valid. It will be seen eventually, So after time, just being the right person, being the person with more knowledge in the room, being more correct, you kind of get that authenticity and validation. But yeah, that does happen a lot.
It's a long way to go. So how do you deal with that? Or you just...
It's that also having that grit and setting boundaries, So like if someone is talking over you in a meeting, the more you let it happen, the more it will keep happening. So if you shut it down earlier, then
the better.
But you see, like I am confrontation averse. Like I don't like those interactions and everything. So me actually shutting down something takes a lot of effort, So it was a lot of growing that had to happen in that area. But then again, also having men who are mentors and supportive are the ones who notice you, like he keeps talking over you, you need to shut it down. That guidance comes from their point of view.
Now, let's go to this culture thing, so about your identity and being a hijabi. I think you've mentioned all that. Was it difficult from your family when you were getting into engineering, or did they take it? I think I'm close to your brothers. So I think I know more about you guys were born and raised in Nairobi. So was it still difficult for you?
I think even before engineering, we can go back to how Light Academy initially, the A-levels, it was more of a boys' school with only a few females.
Yes.
So I think an incident with my dad shows really how they thought of things. So when we were joining, my dad was dropping me off at school and he mentioned that, okay, this is the best school that I can bring you to. Then I've raised you with the proper values and akhlaq and everything. So it's how you carry yourself that matters in the environment. So that lesson really stuck with me. So that was it going forward. He did mention like, oh, why don't you do nursing instead of engineering? But it was more of like, it's easier than the other one. But there wasn't that much friction. So there was a lot of being proud that I'm actually finished my degree, I've gotten work, I'm accomplishing things. So it was very supportive, alhamdulillah. And my mom is also very creative. I feel like I get the engineering aspect from her. So it was very supportive. So, and then also having that support of, we raised you well, carry yourself well.
So for you it was a bit easier. There was no struggle from the uncles, from the other houses.
So there was all of that. Like people started calling my dad, why is she engineering and all that. That's what matters is the circle that's closest to you.
Now, we are, as I said, we were born in Nairobi, so maybe those resistance are not there. But being from the Somali culture, I'm sure there are some girls back in Mandera, those people in Ojia, they never seen women engineers or never imagined of women engineers. What do you say to them, or how does it to them?
I'd say, like, the way I think of engineering is that this is a God-given talent. Allah gave me the skill sets, the knowledge, the brain to be able to do engineering. So you have a responsibility to kind of pursue that potential to the limit that you can. So if you're driven to engineering, if you're driven to medicine, it's a calling in a way that you're supposed to do something with that ability that you've been given. So despite the negativity, despite the obstacles in the way, I believe like you should find a way to take into account all the obstacles and difficulties that are there and use those abilities Allah has given you to come up with solutions to them, making the way easier for others. And
so there's still the pressure to represent. As you put it, there's pressure to represent.
Which is a bit like, you know, there's the whole thing of we shouldn't be media and everything, but it really matters, like what people are seeing growing up, like what are my nieces seeing growing up.
No, forget about the culture and stuff. Don't talk about girls, for example, here in this school or other schools here who are considering engineering. And being ladies and with all these things you're saying, let's go to the raw truth. Is it worth it?
It's very worth it. For me, like being able to bring that idea from my mind and actually having a physical product and actually seeing people use it and benefit from it, it's worthwhile. Like you're part of a bigger thing than you. And I feel like that journey, the pursuits, it's worth it in that it's also really fun. Like once you're engaging creatively, you've learned how to problem solve, you have the entire skill set, it's really worth it.
So they should never feel that they don't belong. Messi is a STEM thing. They should never.
It's for you to give you that worth. You can't find it externally. Like if you don't believe you belong, if you don't believe that you are able to do this, no matter how many people tell you, you won't be able to actually believe it because it's intrinsic. It's supposed to come from the inside.
Have you ever taken any mentorship role for the young women in engineering, for example?
I did mentor a bit at this makerspace called Gearbox. So the model was that you come in, you're mentored by senior engineers, and when you get better, you mentor the incoming batch.
That's a nice thing.
So it was really impactful, mentoring a few girls, and I remember one especially. She had a hard time like with this visualizing and everything, so I also had a hard time, so I was able to teach her in a better way. So that was really like seeing how much her life became easier. It really inspired me to try and mentor more.
Very nice.
So I've also had really impactful mentors who helped coach me and push me in the right direction and how to grow that intrinsic value.
And you have mentioned a lot about your nieces and stuff. Are you trying to?
Yes, definitely.
Are you trying to bring them to us this side of life? Kwani wapendi? Kwani wapendi?
I feel like enabling someone to come to the true potential is it's a gift in a way, because the people who helped me come to that, like my brother being like, you should do engineering. That just observation and everything has really steered me in the right direction. So I hope I'm having the same impact on other people.
We have career fairs here in the schools where our alumni come and talk to students about the experiences in the careers. I think you should consider coming and talk to the students, especially about engineering.
I'd like that.
There are many girls here, I think they need mentorship, especially when talk about STEM subjects.
Yeah.
Mostly, I think you should consider coming and
I'd appreciate that
mentoring
opportunity.
them. Difficult topic kidogo. Let's talk about, we realized the other time when we were talking that you actually knew a friend of mine called Ephantus. You know, Ephantus was a friend of mine back in high school. And when we were having a podcast actually with one of our classmates again, Albert from Mombasa, then we didn't even realize Ephantus has passed on, but you're actually working with Ephantus. How did you get to work with him? How did it?
So we met at Gearbox, which was this maker space. He was the instructor for the Gearbox Academy. So he has mentored so many people, and he's one of the people who are very pivotal in actually nurturing that engineering talent, enabling people to like bring their ideas out. And so that's where we met. He mentored me also. He taught me like electronics, and also how to build a portfolio online, how to represent yourself. Like, it was very pivotal. So he's mentored and nurtured so many people, and I feel like his passing on has really left an impact on people. Yeah.
Especially, it was from Mombasa side, I was in Nairobi, but when we came, there were bullies, a lot of them, but Ephantus was one of the nicest people.
He was really
may he rest in peace.
Yeah, may he rest in peace.
Asa, you are not just an engineer, by the way. You see, here, I don't know any other female mechanical engineer, apart from there's a lady who is doing some pre-car inspections online. I don't even know her. You are very few in your field.
Yes.
I think you have a lot of mentorship that you need to go out there, maybe encourage, especially African girls here who have not have the opportunities and the experience to go. So I think you're an evidence that power can shift, actually, that stories can be rewritten, and against stereotyping, against everything. So
thank you, that means a lot.
Thank you very much for coming. This has been nice.
Thank you for having me.
Asante sana.